The palace is currently on a total lockdown. The Golden Crown elders have made a move that nobody saw coming. They have officially sidelined the Naris and handed the keys to the Golden King's life over to Queen Naomi. Welcome to Crown Gist. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, you are missing out on the biggest updates in the land. Join the family now for the realest gist. Please note, out of deep respect for our culture, we use special titles and fictional names for certain sacred rituals and personalities. As you keep watching, you will understand these names perfectly. The air inside the land of the Golden Crown has become so heavy that you could feel the weight on your chest the moment you cross the palace gates. It is a time of high tension, a time where even the walls seem to have ears and the shadows are whispering. You see, when danger decides to enter a home through the front door, wisdom does not stand there arguing. Wisdom quietly takes control from the back door before the whole house burns. That is exactly the kind of emergency surgery the Golden Crown elders are performing right now. Trust has not just been broken, it has been shattered into pieces that no glue can fix. The discovery concerning the Golden King's beard, that sacred symbol of his authority, has touched a nerve so deep that the elders are no longer smiling. They didn't come out with drums or shouting. They didn't cause a scene. Instead, their silence was louder than 1,000 cannons. They made a firm, sharp, and immediate decision that has sent shockwaves from the palace kitchen to the highest throne room. The announcement was like a thunderbolt. No one, and they emphasized no one, is allowed to handle the clothing, the garments, or any personal item belonging to the Golden King except Queen Naomi. Wait, let that sink in. My Crown Gist friends and families, do you remember not too long ago when people were shouting? Do you remember the voices saying Queen Naomi should stay away? Some were asking, who is she and what is her business here? But look at how the table has turned. The very stone that the builders rejected has suddenly become the cornerstone of the king's safety. This is not a small responsibility. To be the only person trusted with the Golden King's apparel means the elders believe she is the only one whose heart is pure enough to protect him. They didn't even give the Laris a chance to explain. In one breath, the power shifted. The Golden King's safety is now in the hands of the woman who loves him with an intensity that scares his enemies. But as Queen Naomi steps into this role, the palace is vibrating with a different kind of energy. The Laris are still there, watching from the corners, their eyes filled with a mix of shock and something darker. The elders have effectively closed every door, every loophole where Marala could enter. But in a palace full of secrets, is 1 week of lockdown enough to flush out the venom that has already been poured? The suspense is biting and everyone is holding their breath.
The silence following the elders' decision was not the peaceful kind. It was the kind of silence that happens right before a heavy storm breaks the trees in the land of the Golden Crown. My Crown Gist friends and families, imagine walking somewhere for 10 long years thinking you are the landlord of the palace, only for one morning to reach and they tell you, don't touch the king's clothes again. That is the heavy breakfast the Laris served themselves through their own actions. The atmosphere became so thick you could almost slice it with a sharpened cutlass. Now let's talk about the weight on Queen Naomi's shoulders. This isn't just about picking out a nice white lace or a royal robe for the Golden King to wear. No, this is about spiritual and physical security. The elders didn't just give her a job, they gave her his life. They looked at the Laris, they looked at everyone who had been hovering around the Golden King, and they basically said, we don't trust your shadows anymore. The Laris are still physically present in the palace, but they have been turned into spectators in a house where they used to be the main actors. They haven't been officially judged or thrown into the dungeon yet because the investigation is still hot and fresh, but the elders are wise. They know that while you are investigating a leak in a boat, you first move the passenger to a safe ship. That safe ship is Queen Naomi. But Queen Naomi is a woman of deep wisdom. She knows that she cannot be everywhere at once, especially since she is not even living fully inside the palace walls at this very moment. This is where the plot thickens. Instead of trying to do everything alone and failing, she reached out to the one person whose record has been clean since day one, Dr. Elizabeth. My Crown Gist friends and families, Dr. Elizabeth is the kind of person who sees everything but says very little. She is a woman who understands the spiritual frequency of the land of the golden crown. She doesn't move with the crowd and she doesn't join in the palace gossip. She has stood by the golden king for a long time, supporting him from the shadows without looking for camera lights or applause. When Queen Naomi approached her, it was a meeting of two powerful souls, the jewel, now the guardian of the king's garment, and Dr. Elizabeth, the one with the calm head and the eagle eyes. They formed an alliance that has sent shivers down the spines of those who were planning wahala. The first thing Queen Naomi did was to pack every single piece of clothing that had been brought in recently, all the new white garments, the royal sets, everything that was ordered in a hurry. She didn't even look at them twice. She handed them over to Dr. Elizabeth for a total spiritual and physical audit. Nothing, I repeat, nothing enters the Golden King's space now without being checked, double-checked, and triple-checked with deep intention. But you see, while this holy alliance is forming, the other side is not sleeping. The Larrys are watching. Their power is slipping like sand through their fingers. They are looking at Queen Naomi and Dr. Elizabeth with eyes that tell a story of bitterness. They are wondering, how did we get here? 10 years of loyalty is being questioned because of one major slip-up involving the king's beard. The tension is so high that even the palace servants are walking on eggshells. Nobody wants to be caught on the wrong side of this new government. The elders have given a timeline of less than 1 week. In just 7 days, the investigation will be concluded. In 7 days, we will know if the Larrys will ever touch the king's crown again or if they are headed for a permanent exit. But 7 days is a long time in a palace full of secrets. A lot can happen under the cover of darkness. The Larrys are desperate, and a desperate person is a dangerous person. They are dragging each other like kick and start generators, blaming one another for the mess they've landed in. As Queen Naomi and Dr. Elizabeth prepare the Golden King for his upcoming duties, since he won't be traveling overseas for this 1 week, the question remains, is the enemy truly outside, or are they still hiding in the very rooms where the king sleeps? The suspense is gripping, and the walls of the land of the Golden Crown are vibrating with the weight of what is about to be revealed.
African Nigerian friends and families, if you think the tension was high before, what is happening now in the land of the Golden Crown is on another level entirely. The atmosphere has become so heavy and charged that you could almost feel the electricity in the air, like a storm that refuses to break. We are talking about a total takeover, a spiritual and physical shield being built around the Golden King, and those who used to hold the keys are now standing outside in the cold, biting their fingers. Queen Naomi did not just stop at bringing in Dr. Elizabeth. She knows that when you are fighting a battle in a palace as old and deep as the land of the Golden Crown, you need more than just one pair of eyes. She has also called upon Adetu. Now, you have to understand the wisdom here. It's like a chain of command. The elders give the power to Queen Naomi, and she, in her brilliance, has delegated specific roles to people she knows cannot be bought with silver or gold. But why the rush? Why the sudden emergency surgery on the palace security? It's because the investigation into the king's bed, that secret symbol, is moving faster than a wildfire. The Golden Crown elders have given a deadline. They said in less than 1 week, the truth must come out. They are not looking for stories or long grammar. They want to know who allowed Wahala to touch the Golden King's person. While this is happening, the Larrys are in a state of total panic. My Crown Gist friends and families, you need to see the way these people are dragging each other. It is like a pass your neighbor generator that has refused to start. Plenty of noise, plenty of smoke, but no movement. They are fighting amongst themselves because their 10 years of loyalty has been washed away in a single day. They are blaming one another, pointing fingers and shouting. The Larrys are dragging the gospel group, and the gospel group is dragging the Larrys back. Why? Because they know exactly what went down. They know the secrets that were kept in the dark. And now that the light of Queen Naomi and Dr. Elizabeth is shining, they are scurrying like rats when a bright torch is flashed into a dark corner. They are asking, how could we let this happen? How could Olori Shadow and the rest ruin everything just for their own selfish desires?
the betrayal is deep. It's the kind of pain that makes a grown man cry in the middle of the night. These were people who ate from the king's table, people who slept under his protection. But the greed for power and the thirst to control the Golden King led them down a path of no return. Right now, Queen Naomi is handling the king's affairs with a quiet intensity that is frightening his enemies. Every garment, every piece of jewelry, every oil that touches the king's skin is being scrutinized. She has brought in new clothing, fresh, clean, and spiritually untainted. She handed them over to Dr. Elizabeth, who is now the gatekeeper of the king's physical presence. For the next 7 days, the Golden King is not traveling anywhere. He is not going on any overseas trips. He is staying within the land of the Golden Crown, and he is under the most intense protection he has ever had in his life. But here is the suspense. The Laris are not just going to sit down and watch their influence disappear. They have been in that palace for a decade. They know the secret passages, they know the hidden doors, and they know the people who can be manipulated. Even as they are being sidelined, they are whispering in corners. They are plotting. They are wondering if they can sabotage this 1 week of peace before the elders deliver their final judgment. The question on everyone's lips in the land of the Golden Crown is this: will the investigation reveal a secret so dark that it could change the monarchy forever? Or will the enemies of the king find a way to strike one last time before the door is slammed shut for good? The clock is ticking, and the silence in the palace is the loudest thing you have ever heard.
The land of the Golden Crown is currently like a pot of soup left on a high fire. If nobody watches it, it will surely burn. We are seeing a shift in power that hasn't happened in decades. The Laris, who thought they were untouchable, are now looking at the palace gates from the inside like strangers. They are dragging each other, accusing each other, and the noise is like a pass-your-neighbor generator that is about to knock engine. The tension between the Laris and the gospel group is something else. They are dragging Olori's shadow into the mud, blaming her for the wahala that has fallen on their heads. They are asking how people who have worked with the Golden King for 10 years could allow a few women to ruin everything just because of their own selfish desires. Their loyalty is being questioned, and the shame is biting them deep. They are literally crying and fighting because they know that once this investigation is over, there may be no coming back. But while they are busy fighting, Queen Naomi is moving with the precision of a surgeon. She isn't making noise. She isn't joining their drag and pull drama. She is simply making sure that for the next 1 week, the Golden King is wrapped in a blanket of safety. Every garment she has brought into the palace is being handled by Dr. Elizabeth with prayer and extreme care. They are making sure that nothing, and I mean nothing, enters the king's space without being verified. The elders are watching. The land of the Golden Crown is waiting. In less than a week, the hammer will fall. If the investigation proves that the Laris were part of the plot to touch the king's sacred beard, then their 10 years of service will end in total disgrace. But if they are cleared, will they even be able to look the king in the eye again? Or has the bond been broken forever? Queen Naomi has proven that she is indeed the cornerstone that was once rejected. She has taken this heavy responsibility not as a trophy but as a sacrifice of love. She is protecting the man she loves, and in doing so, she is protecting the throne itself. The suspense is so high right now that everyone is just waiting for the clock to strike. Who will be banished? Who will be forgiven? And what secret is still hiding in the shadows of the palace? Wait, before you go, let me remind you, all the information I have shared today is based on alleged reports and unverified rumors making the rounds on social media. My Crown Gist friends and families, please do not take these as confirmed facts yet. We are only bringing you the gist as it is being discussed in the digital strips of the land of the Golden Crown. We must wait for the official word from the palace before we know the absolute truth.